And I'll be honest, I'm woman enough to tell you, I wanted to be a leader because I wanted what leaders have, right? I wanted a big office, right? I wanted a dry cleaning account. Okay? If you're in the know, you got a dry cleaning account. And I wanted an expense account, and I wanted the wardrobe, right? So, you know, I found out that the job was available to run First Person Arts. You know, and I knew just what kind of leader I was going to be. Okay, I walked in to my interview with 8 board members sitting around the table, right? And I told them everything I have ever done in my personal and professional life has led me to this job. And I said it with passion because I was going to be Martin Luther King Jr. and Michelle Obama all wrapped up in one. And I spoke with such passion, you know, that I'd like to think that that's, you know, kind of why I got the job, right? So I decide, you know, that the ideal leader that I'm going to be is going to be passionate, articulate, coiffed. Okay, I have my XXX spandex spikes. Okay, I was coiffed, and I had my Louis Vuitton handbag. All right, I was rocking and rolling. I was going to make a mark in this world. So the first thing I did when I got the job at First Person Arts is I said, I'm going to design a team building exercise because we're going to turn into a high functioning team. So I took us all out bowling. Okay? Now, Becca's laughing because she remembers. So I show up at the bowling alley. I got my Louis Vuitton bag. I've got my professional ensemble on, you know, professionally appointed, yet ethnically specific. I got my hair all curly and out and wild because I'm going to let you know who I am. We pair up. Dan and I are on one team, and Karina and Nancy are on the other. We're going to work this out. So I pick up a bowling ball, and see, I hadn't really thought it through because I hadn't bowled in maybe 5 years, you know, and so my intention was to be that, you know, role model. So I picked up this little baby bowling ball with the fingers that were a little bit too tight, and I guess I was really passionate and enthusiastic because when I went down the lane with the ball, okay, it's perfect form. Right? I tried to let the ball go, but it didn't go. But I went down the lane. It must have took 10 minutes for me to fall down. I hit the ground flat, and I'm thinking, this is it. I'm going to turn around, and everybody in First Person Arts and in the bowling alley are going to be laughing at me. Who does this chick think she is, right? This is what she gets. And I turn around, and I look up, and Dan is running towards me with his cheeks, with this look of concern, and he lifts me, well, he didn't lift me up, but he picks me up and he walks me back, and he sits down, and nobody said anything else about it ever again. So I figure, you know, so I left the Louis Vuitton bag home, you know, started wearing khakis, and, you know, started talking a little bit more, you know, normal. So, but, you know, I've decided that I'm going to now be the person that shows up, the first person to work and the last person to leave. So one night after the festival, me, Becca, and James get in the elevator. And I'm not carrying my Louis anymore. I've got my red handbag that I bought for $40. You know, I'm down to earth. And we get on the elevator, push the button, talking about work, and I'm using words like mindful and cost versus benefit analysis. And the elevator stops in between floors. Well, see, I'm claustrophobic. So I'm standing in the elevator, and Becca and James are looking at me. And before I know it, I've got my handbag. Before I know it, I throw my handbag on the floor and go, oh, Jesus, the elevator didn't stop. Oh, my God, help me, Jesus. And I start running around the elevator, going, oh, Jesus, please stop the elevator. And James goes, this happens, you know, kind of often. And usually, if you just give it a minute, oh, Jesus, notice that we'll be stuck in here. And the elevator starts. And I regain my composure. But I decide that night, I'm up all night thinking, I have not a shred of dignity left with my staff. I am just a laughing stock. Nobody's going to take me seriously. So I come into work the next morning, and I look at everybody. I go in the middle of the floor, and I go, okay, let's talk about the elevator thing right now. Get it out of the way. And Becca looks at me, and she goes, you know, Jamie, it's not a big deal. Let's get to work. And I think that leadership is not being quaffed, and it's not being, you know, using big words. I think it's about going someplace with some pretty important, impressive people, and I'm really glad that I'm with First Person Arts.